Hi guys, welcome back. It's been a while. It's been like forever since I last recorded a video, but yeah, well, here I am. I don't know how consistent will be, but this video I wanted to record this for a while. It's a very like uh, I personally like for our company and some of my colleagues. This was a very required video. Like a lot of people came back with the same question. So yeah, this video is about RazorPay integration, everything, like all the basics you need, at least on the client end. I'll cover everything that you'll need. Like at that point, you'll I don't think there should be any questions unanswered. But yeah, basically in this video we'll cover basic like RazorPay, what are the product it offers, a normal standard RazorPay integration, a custom level RazorPay integration, and like a small intro to webhooks. Like I won't go into detail because it will take another video. The video will be too long, right? I want to keep this very short so that people can just watch this video and start with actually integrating RazorPay very easily without any doubt, right? And this video is necessary. Like why I'm creating this video is because see, on the backend end, I see RazorPay docs are very detailed. There are they have covered everything in the docs, but the problem is it's very hard to find the docs. TM. It's very hard to go to the exact link that the doc mentions. Like if you want to integrate customer, it's very hard to navigate. Key, where do I find this? If you want to integrate charge it bill like recurring, it's one of the recurring payment method like flows. It's nearly impossible to find that just if you're reading the docs for the first time or even after several times. So the problem is at least on the client end, it's very hard to navigate the docs if you want to go beyond just standard integration. And on the back end, I think the integration guides are very, not very, but like yeah, at a basic level, they are all like clear. Like the backend flow is pretty clear to me. So that's why on the client end, I think this video is very necessary, especially at this point where a lot of startups are using RazorPay as their go-to payment gateway, right? I mean, even not just small startups, even mid-scale startups, they use RazorPay along with other payment gateways like PhonePe or something. They are integrating multiple payment gateways, but RazorPay is one of them, right? So yeah, I think this is a very important video at this point. So basically, RazorPay offers a lot of products. Mainly, like the common ones that you'll find companies using is one-time payment, like just wallet or charge or something, just one time, right? Or you'll see, right, there are a lot of apps that say like just do a 50 rupees recharge, 100 rupees recharge. This one time you'll have to pay, and that'll be credited to your account, right? Then we have recurring methods, right? Recurring payment flows, which include subscriptions and charge at will, like basically mandate flow or on demand flow, whatever you want to call it. That's a little advanced, so we'll cover that at the end. But majorly, I think a lot of people will be curious about subscriptions. And one thing to note is that, like, if you are using recurring payments, right, on RazorPay, like on your account, you can either activate subscription or you can activate charge at will, right? You can only select one of the two. Once your account has subscription, you can't change it to charge at will or vice versa, right? So you'll have to be clear on what you want. So I guess we can discuss this right now. Like subscription is basically like if you use Netflix or Amazon Prime, you're probably clear on what subscription is. Like if you subscribe, you know, like it's a monthly subscription at the end of the month, or quarterly or yearly at the end of the year or at the end of the month, based on which date you actually started the subscription. That amount will be deducted, right? You get a SMS that it's going to be deducted on this and this date for your Netflix subscription, and it gets deducted. That's all, right? And that's it. Like that's really it. In RazorPay's case as well, subscription, it works like that. RazorPay handles, like initially, let's say I'm the user. I bought a Netflix subscription of 199 on monthly subscription. So RazorPay will handle the initial payment. Like from then on, every month it will automatically send the user an SMS and email notification saying that 199 rupees will be deducted tomorrow or day after tomorrow or something like that. You can set that as well, and it will try to deduct that money itself. You don't have to do anything, right? After the first payment you have to do, after that, basically RazorPay will handle the subsequent payments. So that's the plus point of subscriptions. But if I have to explain like charge at will, basically if you have used Grow or AngelList or so to basically have SIPs in mutual funds or something, you'll see initially you have to create an autopay, right? And that autopay says that you have created an autopay mandate for so and so mutual fund, and this, let's say AngelList can deduct up to 15,000 rupees or up to 10,000 rupees, right? So this is, if you actually start to notice, this is what it says. So charge at will basically is a recurring payment option in which the business can actually deduct that amount of like, let's say the maximum amount in this case 15,000. You can specify the maximum amount. Okay? You will show the user key, I am creating a mandate for you. The maximum amount I can deduct is so and so, let's say 15,000. So user will see, okay, this business can deduct up to 15,000. Below that, any number works, right? So up to 15,000 at any time, right? So in case you start a SIP for that mutual fund, and it creates a mandate on the first day, right? So every time it will, it let's say it, let's say you start another SIP on another mutual fund, right? So there, let's say that's 1,000 rupees more, right? Initially the first one was 500 rupees, now 1,000 rupees. So you don't have to create another mandate. You already have a mandate from which the business can deduct 15,000 at any time. So even like, let's say you have 5 more SIPs that you created, let's say today, tomorrow, and so on, you'll still be charged against that same mandate, because now the business has already asked you the first time. See, up to 15,000 I can deduct anytime, anywhere, right? So that's the thing, like charge at will allows the businesses to charge up to that maximum amount anytime. That's the basic concept, right? So the use case depends a lot on what business you are, right? So we won't go into that, but yeah, those are the two main differences. This is very interesting that RazorPay only allows, like, if you have selected your account to have subscription, you can't change it to chargeable. This is very important. You'll have to create a new RazorPay account otherwise. So yeah, that's one very interesting thing that we have faced. So yeah, coming back to integrating RazorPay standard flow. So first, basically when you integrate RazorPay, this is what it looks like. If you can directly search RazorPay standard integration or RazorPay integration, whatever it is, they have a decent workflow guide for standard integration. Like you have to specify the, in this case I think it's JS based, but yeah, they have support for Android integration, iOS integration, whatever it is. So basically, yeah, this is the object that you'll pass. You'll just have to give it to RazorPay object. It will show you a screen like this. Basically this will open up, you will pay, and after payment you'll get a success callback which will return these three things: RazorPay payment ID, RazorPay order ID, RazorPay signature. Now if you're using subscription or you're using other payment or like other products, basically this variable will change. Instead of RazorPay order ID, you will get RazorPay subscription ID, but these two will remain same mostly, right? So what happens is, after you get this success callback, that means user has, so like the payment was successful on at least this end, a user has paid, and user the RazorPay flow is completed, right? Then RazorPay gives you this. But at this point, it's very important that you have to send a verify payment API call to your backend, and this RazorPay signature, you have to send this. This is very important. So our backend will verify whether actually the signature against this payment, the signature, it will verify, right? So this will verify the payment status, right? So without this, what happens is, let's say uh, the payment was successful in this end, but something happened and didn't reach your bank account, right? But then you showed the user that, oh, the payment was successful or anything like that, right? After that, you'll probably show something like order placed or a success modal or a celebration emojis or something like that, right? So but what happened if that didn't reach your backend, if that didn't reach your bank account? So unless you have to send this RazorPay signature, backend will verify, okay, everything is done. After verification, that our backend will actually send, you have to send this on your end, right? Let's say in our case we send just a boolean true or false, so only in case of true we redirect back and show like a success modal, right? So this is very important verification. Then you have this success and failure, you can mimic both of them. There's a very interesting thing that like in intent and collect flow, I'll tell in UPI integration in custom flow. So basically, yeah, that's a normal standard flow how it works. Initially, what you do is create an order in server. You request the server to create an order like for that user. Let's say I want to recharge my wallet for 50 rupees. I'll tell my backend will create a 50 rupees order, right, and give me order ID, right? That's the first step, create order. And that order ID I will use here in uh, in the checkout. So order ID will be replaced with that. If you're using subscription, you'll tell the backend to create a subscription, and then instead of this order ID it will be replaced by subscription ID, right? In case of chart it will be token, right? Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing that will change, but other than that the flow will be same: create order, checkout, and then third, the callback. You have to handle the callback for verification, because only in case of success you will receive these three things. In case of failure, you won't receive, it will be empty, right? So you'll have to manage the failure case as well. So that's one thing. Then you can use webhooks to actually ensure that the payment was successful. That's another thing. So that's how the basic integrations, the standard thing works, right? Now if you are using Flutter, you have Flutter, a RazorPay Flutter package. If you're using React Native, you have a React Native package, a React Native RazorPay package. And if you're using Android, you have again RazorPay SDK direct. So those are the SDK, the dot open dot checkout method, right? The callbacks are the success and error callbacks, and this is how the end result will look like. But if you notice, in most cases, if you let's say if you're using Zomato or Swiggy or something, you don't see this screen, right? You don't see this weird UI, right? You actually see a very good UI that Zomato designed themselves, right? So that is where the custom UI lies. This RazorPay standard is the go-to approach. Like, it's very easy to implement. So yeah, you won't see it being used that much, but it's very easy. The first step, you can integrate this like this very easily. Then what happens is most companies moves to custom UI. So you create an entire UI yourself. So instead of this like ugly RazorPay screen, you'll create a screen of your own. Let's say I'll actually search Zomato payment screen. Okay, this is good enough. So in our app, this is our custom UI screen. In Zomato's case, this is their UI screen. So you'll design this like any other screen, right? So you'll design this and create this, right? In our case, we have this. Now the how do I ensure, like, you have created the UI, right? You have created this custom UI, but what happens when I click on PhonePe, right? So your flow will remain exactly the same, but two things will change. One, instead of the standard SDK, now you will use a custom UI SDK. So what that means is, let's say I'm using React Native RazorPay package, right? So now instead of using this React Native RazorPay package, I'll use React Native custom UI package. So it's a wrapper over a RazorPay, but yeah, in React Native, this is what I'll use to create this, right? The basic approach will still remain the same. If you look at the example code, just the package name has changed. Otherwise, the RazorPay.open remains the same. Both of the workflow, only the package name is same. Rest the other code is exactly the same, right? But what this allows us to do is create a custom screen, right? So now in the custom UI package, in this particular package, this ugly screen won't be shown. This screen won't be there directly. If I click on phone pay, this directly on phone pay, directly a phone pay screen, the second screen here, the second screen of phone pay will directly open up, right? So that is what the custom UI power gives. It allows you to create a custom UI page for yourself, right? And allow any payment method or deny any payment method you want, right? So I gave you an example of React Native, but RazorPay has SDK for everything like Flutter, React Native, or if you are using custom, I have the links right here. Like this is a public Notion doc. I've shared this below the video. It's totally public. And if you see here, I've given the direct integration guide link for custom SDK on like natively for native level, right? So directly RazorPay has a custom UI package. All you have to do is change that. So as I said, there are two things. First, the package will change, and second is the payload, right? So how do I, let's say when I click on phone pay, I use the razorpay.open method, but how do I know it has to open the phone pay package? For that we have to customize the payload. So I've created a separate payload section entirely, right? So if you look at this, you can like in the same, like, see, this workflow will remain same, right? For normal standard checkout, yeah, for normal standard checkout, instead of React Native custom UI, it will be React Native RazorPay. Rest, the whole code will be same. Now this is changed. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to provide the method. Like let's say if the user wants to pay with card, I'll have to say method card, and then the card details, right? I'll have to create a UI for this, like that user can enter the details and click, and then these are the options that I'll pass. So this is how I can integrate card payment method, then wallet, net banking. And in UPI we have two flows, the collect flow and intent flow. Here you can actually pass. So intent flow is what we'll use in this case when we click on PhonePe and we want to open the PhonePe app. So here you in UPI app package name, I'll pass this com.phonepay.app. So I've given this as a sample. Like I'll click, this is the exact options that I'll pass to RazorPay to open directly the PhonePe app for payment, right? So what will happen is when I pass these options directly, when I click on this, I'll pass these options directly. PhonePe app will open up. You'll enter the 4-digit code or 6-digit code, whatever, and after payment, you'll be redirected back to your own app, right? So that's how you integrate custom UI in RazorPay, right? And I've given in detail like what are, like for different methods, what exactly the keys are, right? And not just the keys, I've basically provided the UPI package, what should you pass, right? Now that's the basic integration help that you'll need. Now like there's one more thing that you have to keep in mind, right? See, here I'm showing phone pay, Google Pay and mobile pay, right? But this can't be hard coded. You need to know what apps are installed on your user's phone. Like what, I don't have phone pay installed, so there's no point in showing phone pay, right? So that's when you need these are methods that RazorPay actually supports, right? A RazorPay app directly gives you these methods. So get apps which support UPI, right? So this will actually provide you these apps that are installed on the user's phone, right? So you can at any point like just call this API. It will give you an array of object, and that will give you which are apps are installed. It will also give you icon and label, and also the package name that you have to pass in the RazorPay options. So these I provided two methods. So initially you'll use this for one-time payments. This is the method you have to go to, get apps with support UPI to show these apps on your UI. But when you actually move to recurring payments, whether it be subscription or chargeable bill, you have to use get apps with support auto pay intent. This is another method which RazorPay SDK has. It gives you apps like, for example, there are a lot of apps which don't support recurring payments. So this app will, this method will only show these apps which actually support that recurring payment, the auto pay option, right? So this is the method you'll eventually move to. Initially, you don't have to. And there is one issue that you might face, like in case of React Native specifically, I'm speaking, like this React Native custom UI package uh, exports this method, like this method is already in that library. Basically it's very easy to use because it automatically exports this, but it doesn't export this from RazorPay package. So in this case, in our case, we had to create a native level code which actually exports this from the RazorPay package in React Native. And there might be cases where this is not exported, so you'll have to find a way to actually use this. But yeah, these are the two methods, and I'm telling you these exist. It's this is very hard to find in docs, very hard to find, I'm telling you. So I'm telling you these exist, so take my word for it. We are using this right now, right? So yeah, these are the things that you'll need. One more bonus here is like how this is integrated is from your backend you will get a list of UPI apps. Like let's say there are a lot of like 10, 15, or maybe 20 UPI apps. You'll get a list of that, right, from your backend initially when this screen is loaded. And so let's say you get an array of 20 methods, right? And this get apps which support UPI, this returns 5 methods, right? So you'll actually basically you'll intersect these two, okay? So eventually maybe out of like so from the backend we get 20 methods, right? So we only want to show out of these 20 methods, and out on the phone there are 5 UPI apps installed, which are given by this, right? So we'll intersect these and show the final result on the screen. That's how this works, right? So at any point, let's say from the backend in the future, let's say you want to remove a UPI, you can directly remove, like just start sending 18 methods, and automatically in the final result it will be reflected. No need for hard coding something, or no need to just rely on this method. So that gives you more dynamicness, right? And you can also send from backend whether to show card option, whether to show bank options and or not, right? And actually you should also do one thing, like go to RazorPay docs, and they actually give a list of banks they support, the cards they support, the UPI apps they support, so you can cross reference that as well to send this from backend. But yeah, that's the basic integration that you need for custom UI, right? And again, the packages are already made from RazorPay, right, for any framework that you're using probably. If there is a case where it's not, just drop a DM. If we can figure it out together, maybe we will, right? Then the last thing, and a very important thing, is webhooks, right? So any activity that you do with RazorPay, you'll actually get a webhook event for it, right? So you complete a payment, you'll get a payment dot success event, payment dot completed or success event. I'm not sure I remember it correctly. So for using that you can verify that okay, payment was successful. In case of subscription, it is very, like in case of recurring payments, webhooks are the source of truth that you'll be using for everything to maintain in your database, right? So it will become very important. Like RazorPay will create, in subscriptions RazorPay will directly charge the customer, and you won't have that access, right? So on webhook it will say okay, the payment was created, right? Subscription dot created, subscription authorized. So these events will be sent on the backend. If failed, the payment was failed, it will again be sent to your backend, right? On the webhook. So handling webhooks is very important. We can go in depth later on this. If I have a small intro, like for charge at will payments, I have a webhook section which is covered in this, but again, we'll go deep dive in this in another video. So for now, yeah, that's it. Be sure to go through this, and it also has some React Native in general uh, things that have you noticed at some point. So yeah, everything is public. Just if at any point you're stuck, not just RazorPay in React Native development, then yeah, reach out. Let's connect on Twitter preferably, or mail. I don't know. Uh, yeah, that's all for this video. Hopefully this covers everything on the client end that you'll need